Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm going to be doing a few things today that are not sheep related, but of course you'll get to see sheep as well. Just gonna preface this video a little bit that it was recorded on my phone today. So if the quality's not quite up to par, that is why, it's because it was recorded on my phone. So let's get right into it. So I'm obviously not going to show you everything that I did with these little foals today, but what we're doing is their very first trim. And they're not halter broke, they're barely handled, like I've only really put my hands on them a few times, but needed to get their feet done. While it was nice weather, we figured I better get it done. So Taco's kind of losing his marbles a little bit, but then he settles down a little bit. But watching back this footage, what I probably should have done is just done them one at a time, but I figured they would be a little bit quieter with the two of them in the pen, but Taco was apparently not. Beans was an absolute rock star today. It was just awesome to see how well he did. We had a few little fights, as you'll see right here. Kind of got upset, kicked out. One thing with donkeys, and years of being a farrier, you just can't let this donkey win when it comes to his feet or with anything else, like as far as training. So you can see here, he's kicking out, he's like, let me go, I'm not happy. And I just stay calm, reassure him, make sure everything is very relaxed from my end as Taco hits me. Just want to make sure he understands that I'm not hurting him. This is, yes, I'm taking his foot away, but I'm not hurting him. Has a little bit more of a fight, and then he's like, oh, okay, never mind, this isn't so bad. Start nipping away here, and I think half of the problem that he was having with this was that Taco was nipping at him and flicking his tail and back and forth and just being a typical baby. I'm just staying really calm, not getting any temper flaring, making sure that I'm doing purposeful movements but not doing them super fast or yanking his foot around. He's getting a little upset there again. I think Taco was the problem. He let me go right back to it. His ears are back, but he's still accepting to it. I won't show all the footage of me trimming these two today, but I'll just show this one side of Beans. And on his other side, his other 2 feet, he actually stood like almost perfectly, but Taco was on the other side of him and not able to go back and forth and, you know, cause a bunch of problems. I do usually find that foals are worse on their front feet because they're worried about being off balance. But donkeys are a little bit different than horse foals. They're more worried about protecting their back end. Normally they like tuck it underneath them, or they're firing all the time, so their back end is their protection for themselves. Yeah, we make sure we give him lots of love, know that he's did a good job, understand that life is good. Really happy with how he handled it. Taco, on the other hand, had a little bit more fire to him, so he was a little kicky and he was not wanting to stand very well. Once he figured it out, though, he did awesome. He just had a little bit more fight in him. We're gonna make a turn here, trying to do this hind foot here. Again, I should have taken them and had them separate. That was my own fault. But once Taco settles down here, he actually does really good. He's definitely leery of what's going on and was kind of trying to protect himself. He actually tried to nip me when I was doing his opposite front foot. He got scolded for that, but he got lots of love after when he was being really good. So we took it as a win today. They did amazing for not being handled at all. You have to remember, these babies have barely had a hand on them, let alone being halter broke or even had their feet picked up before today. So I don't recommend this as the way to train your donkeys to do it, but this is what I got to work with. Kind of between being busy and being sick and lambing and just everything going on, they never got the love that they needed to. Or he's teaching the boys how to be respectable little gentlemen. Kind of being little shits. So Beans, the gray one, is sold. He's just waiting to get picked up. And then Taco is possibly sold, but working on some details of that still. Hey Jorge, are you gonna teach him some manners? You're such a sweetheart. They were having a good play on the hill, but I think they tired themselves out. Well, I found the bale quickly after running around like a bunch of retards. So those are the September-October ewe lambs. And a couple of them are gonna stay in the flock as replacements. Not bad looking little ewes. So, and then these are the newest babies. Chiquita got her feet done as well today. I also did the first vaccine on these girls with the light pink tags, like right there. They were ones that I chose out of the ewe lamb pen towards the end of the last year. So they did their first vaccine. They'll get their second vaccine when these girls are due for their 4 to 6 week out from lambing vaccine, which they're due mid-April. So yeah, I think it's end of March when they're due. I've got the date wrote down, so I'll get them all vaccinated up. Some of them are getting little bellies on them already, like Margie, but Margie's always been large Marge. Hey Marge, are you large Marge? So I guess I better do a little update as to what I did over here too, and over there. So I rednecked the crap out of this, but all it is just a little tarp fort, I guess you could call it, for the creep area, because that wooden one right there is just not big enough for how many lambs are in here. It was fine for the last group, but not big enough for this one. So I've got some cups along the wall, another little feeder. Then they also have inside the wood pen there, or wood creep area there. So I gotta put some bungee cords on this and secure it down the rest of the way before we get stupid wind. But at least it's a nice covered area for them and more feeding space for them. They've been using it really well. As much as there's still some corn left in their thing, they've been using it a lot. They're getting on the creep pretty good. This pen of lambs is doing pretty good too. They're growing like little weeds. They love Maggie, but yeah, growing like weeds. Moms look like they're still pregnant, so I think comes with feeding them really well. Like, look at those girls. They look like they're still gonna pop out lambs, even though most of them got twins on them. And then for this smaller, younger group of lambs, I've got an old hog feeder in this trailer. It's not the most ideal setup, but it works. There's a little crate gate to get in there. Mums can't get in, so this old trailer, I'll put some plywood on the windows before we get more snow, but it'll serve its purpose for now. Such a pretty night. Sunset so nice and orange and blue and pink. The bottle lambs are still outside there. Go put them in here pretty quick, but just absolutely gorgeous.